Hurricanes. These natural phenomena are among the most powerful and destructive forces on Earth. These swirling behemoths of wind and rain are born over warm ocean waters where the conditions are just right for their formation. As the sun beats down, it heats the surface, causing water to evaporate and rise. This process is crucial as it sets the stage for the birth of a hurricane. This warm, moist air creates an area of low pressure, drawing in more air from the surrounding areas. The continuous influx of air feeds the growing system. This cycle of rising air and converging winds begins to spin, fueled by the Earth's rotation. The Coriolis effect causes the system to rotate, giving it the characteristic cyclonic shape. As the storm system grows, it picks up more energy from the warm ocean below. The more heat and moisture it absorbs, the stronger it becomes. Winds howl, clouds gather, and a monster is born. The eye of the hurricane, a calm center, forms as the storm intensifies. These are not just storms, they are powerful forces of nature capable of unimaginable destruction. The damage they cause can be catastrophic, affecting millions of lives. Hurricanes are classified by their wind speeds, using the Saffir-Simpson Hurricane Wind Scale. This scale helps us understand the potential severity of the storm. This scale, ranging from Category 1 to Category 5, helps meteorologists and emergency responders assess the potential impact of these storms. Each category represents a significant increase in wind speed and potential damage, but no matter the category, all hurricanes demand our respect and caution. Preparation and awareness are key to minimizing their impact. From securing homes to evacuating when necessary, taking the right steps can save lives. Throughout history, hurricanes have tested the resilience of communities, yet time and again people have shown incredible strength in rebuilding and recovering from these natural disasters. Advances in technology have greatly improved our ability to predict and track hurricanes. Satellite imagery and sophisticated models allow meteorologists to provide early warnings, giving people more time to prepare. Community drills and public awareness campaigns play a crucial role in hurricane preparedness. Knowing what to do before, during, and after a hurricane can make all the difference. Education is also vital. Teaching children and adults alike about the science of hurricanes and safety measures ensures that everyone is better equipped to handle these powerful storms. On a global scale, research and international cooperation are essential. Sharing knowledge and resources helps improve our collective ability to respond to and recover from hurricanes. While hurricanes are a formidable force of nature, understanding their formation and behavior helps us coexist with these powerful storms. With preparation, education, and resilience, we can weather the storm. In August 2017, Hurricane Harvey, a massive Category 4 storm, slammed into the Texas coast. It stalled over the Houston area, unleashing torrential rainfall that would rewrite the record books. Over the course of 4 days, Harvey dumped trillions of gallons of water onto southeast Texas. Rivers and bayous overflowed, turning streets into raging torrents. Homes were swallowed by floodwaters, their occupants forced to seek refuge on rooftops or in makeshift shelters. The sheer volume of rainfall overwhelmed drainage systems, leaving much of Houston underwater. The images that emerged from Harvey's aftermath were heartbreaking. Families wading through chest-deep water, clutching their belongings. First responders working tirelessly to rescue stranded residents. The storm exposed the vulnerability of a major American city to the devastating power of nature. The impact of Harvey's deluge was felt far and wide. Thousands of homes were damaged or destroyed, displacing families and leaving a trail of debris in their wake. Businesses were shuttered, schools were closed, and the city of Houston ground to a standstill. The storm surge, the wall of water pushed ashore by the hurricane's winds, compounded the flooding. Coastal communities were inundated, their infrastructure crippled by the relentless assault. The economic impact of Harvey was staggering, with billions of dollars in damage and lost revenue. Yet even amidst the devastation, stories of hope and resilience emerged. Neighbors helping neighbors, volunteers flocking to the area to lend a hand, and a community coming together to support those in need. The recovery process would be long and arduous, but the spirit of Houston remained unbroken. In 1992, Hurricane Andrew, a compact but ferocious Category 5 storm, tore through South Florida. Its winds exceeding 165 miles per hour reduced entire neighborhoods to rubble. Homes were flattened, businesses were obliterated, and the landscape was forever altered. Andrew's impact was swift and brutal. The storm surge, reaching over 16 feet in some areas, pushed boats ashore and flooded coastal communities. The sounds of the hurricane were deafening, the roar of the wind, the crashing of debris, and the terrified cries of those caught in its path. The devastation left in Andrew's wake was unlike anything South Florida had ever seen. Over 60 people lost their lives and hundreds of thousands were left homeless. The storm exposed the inadequacy of building codes and the vulnerability of coastal communities to such powerful hurricanes. Homestead, Florida, a city south of Miami, bore the brunt of Andrew's fury. The once serene and picturesque town found itself at the epicenter of one of the most devastating hurricanes in history. The winds howled with a ferocity that seemed almost otherworldly, and the rain fell in torrents, turning streets into rivers and homes into ruins. Once a thriving community, Homestead was reduced to a wasteland of debris and shattered lives. The vibrant neighborhoods filled with laughter and life were now silent save for the occasional sound of crumbling structures and the cries of those who had lost everything. The devastation was not just physical but deeply emotional, as families grappled with the loss of their homes and the memories they held. The storm's winds ripped apart homes and businesses, leaving behind a landscape that resembled a war zone. Buildings that once stood tall and proud were now mere skeletons of their former selves, with walls torn away and roofs missing. The local businesses, the lifeblood of the community, were decimated, leaving many without jobs and a means to support their families. Families who had weathered the storm in terror emerged to find their homes gone, their belongings scattered. The streets were filled with people sifting through the wreckage, hoping to salvage anything that might have survived the storm. Personal items once taken for granted became precious treasures in the aftermath, symbols of resilience and hope. The air was thick with the smell of destruction, splintered wood, broken concrete, and the stench of rotting food. The once fresh and clean air of Homestead was now tainted with the odors of decay and ruin. The sights and smells were a constant reminder of the storm's wrath and the long road to recovery that lay ahead. The emotional toll of the storm was immeasurable. People mourned not just the loss of their homes, but the loss of their sense of security and normalcy. The psychological scars ran deep as the community struggled to come to terms with the enormity of the disaster. Grief counselors and support groups became essential, helping residents navigate their feelings of despair and hopelessness. The recovery process in Homestead was slow and painful. Rebuilding a life from the ground up is never easy, and for many, the task seemed insurmountable. The initial days were filled with uncertainty and fear as residents wondered if they would ever be able to return to the lives they once knew. The community faced countless challenges, from securing funding for reconstruction to dealing with the emotional aftermath of the storm. The sheer scale of the destruction was overwhelming, and the resources needed to rebuild were in short supply. The local government and aid organizations worked tirelessly, but the demand far outstripped the available resources. Volunteers and donations poured in from across the country, but it was clear that the road to recovery would be long and arduous. Yet amidst the despair, the spirit of community shone through. In the face of such overwhelming adversity, the people of Homestead came together, united by a common goal. Neighbors who had never spoken before now worked side by side, clearing debris and offering support. The bonds formed in those dark days would become the foundation of a stronger, more resilient community. Neighbors helped neighbors, volunteers poured in from across the country, and slowly, painstakingly, Homestead began to rebuild. The process was slow, but each day brought new progress. Homes were reconstructed, businesses reopened, and the community began to heal. The road to recovery was long, but the spirit of Homestead was unbroken. Together, they would rebuild not just their town but their lives, stronger and more united than ever before. As I write this, Hurricane Milton has just made landfall. The winds are howling and the rain is relentless, battering everything in its path. The sheer force of nature is on full display, and it's both awe-inspiring and terrifying. The images are still coming in. The story's still unfolding. News channels are flooded with footage of the devastation, reporters braving the elements to bring us the latest updates. Each story is a testament to the resilience and vulnerability of the human spirit in the face of such overwhelming natural forces. We know that Milton, a powerful Category 3 hurricane, has brought with it high winds, heavy rain, and the threat of life-threatening storm surge. The meteorologists had warned us, but seeing it unfold in real time is a different experience altogether. The power of the storm is palpable, and the danger it poses is very real. Coastal communities have been evacuated and emergency responders are on high alert. The roads are filled with cars, families fleeing to safer grounds, hoping to escape the worst of the storm. Emergency shelters are opening their doors, providing a temporary refuge for those in need. The coordination and effort involved in such large-scale evacuations are immense, and yet it's a necessary measure to save lives. The familiar fear, the uncertainty, and the anxiety that accompany these storms have settled over the region. People are glued to their screens watching weather updates, praying for the safety of their loved ones. The streets, usually bustling with activity, are eerily empty, a stark reminder of the impending danger. We can only hope that Milton's impact will be less severe than feared. The aftermath of such storms is often heartbreaking, with homes destroyed, lives disrupted, and communities left to pick up the pieces. The aerial views of the destruction are sobering, a visual representation of the storm's wrath. Hurricanes are a fact of life for those of us who live in hurricane-prone areas. We know the drill: boarding up windows, stocking up on supplies, and making sure our emergency kits are ready. It's a routine we've come to accept, a part of our lives that we can't ignore. We know that these storms will come, and we prepare as best we can. Local businesses shutter their doors, residents fortify their homes, and communities come together to support one another. The sense of camaraderie and collective effort is heartening even in the face of such adversity, but there is always an element of the unknown, a sense of apprehension as we watch and wait for the storm to pass. The unpredictability of hurricanes means that no matter how prepared we are, there's always a lingering fear of the unexpected. As we huddle indoors, listening to the wind howl and the rain pound against our windows, we hold on to hope. Hope that we and our communities will weather the storm and emerge stronger on the other side.